What's up, everyone? It's Sean with Marketing for Service Professionals, and today I want to show you how you can start using Facebook groups to promote and grow your business absolutely free. I wanted to make this video because a lot of times I see business owners that are trying to use Facebook groups to get more business, but they're not using it in the right way. And if you learn how to use it the right way, then you can generate tons of unlimited business, and you can do it directly on your phone from your fingertips, and it doesn't cost you a single cent. So I want to jump right into Facebook, and I want to show you my tips on how to grow your business on Facebook groups. If you haven't already, feel free to hit the subscribe button and like this video. All of this content that I produce for you guys is absolutely free. All that I ask is if you can drop a subscribe and like the video, it really helps the channel grow so that I can continue to put out this type of content. So the first tip that I want to give you is it's important which groups you join to promote your business. I've been seeing this a lot recently in a lot of the groups that I'm in, where business owners are promoting their business. Like they might have, an ad, right? They have the text of their ad and some good pictures, and they're just sharing this post on a Facebook group that's international or worldwide. And I'm not saying that I am saying that. Like I would not be sharing my, if I'm a pressure washing business owner or lawn care or any other home service, I'm not going to share that info in a worldwide or a nationwide group unless it's to get advice on the ad or whatever it is that I'm trying to post. Because you have to think about it, when you're posting that ad or Facebook post in a worldwide group with, let's say, 10,000 members, there may only be a small handful of those in your area, and they're probably your competitors. So do you really want to be showing them your ads and stuff? So so that's the first and foremost thing, is you have to join groups in your community. The second part to this is you want to make sure that you join the right groups. And so I want to show you how we do that. So jumping right onto Facebook, now as you can see, I'm on a desktop. It would look a little bit different on mobile, but you can still do the same thing. One of the first things you want to do is you want to type in the search bar the city that you service, your primary service area. So in my case, I just use Columbus, Ohio. The next thing we want to do is we want to go on the left-hand side. We want to click on groups. And I'm just going to check public groups. Private groups, you may or may not get into, and usually a private group is something very niche to specific, whatever, other small businesses, things like that. But for instance, you're going to see a lot of the buy, sell, trade, rummage kind of groups. Join them all. What's even better, if you can niche down even further, is find little pocket communities, right? So like within like my area, like we have little neighborhoods that make up, maybe 50 blocks, right? And those have neighborhood names. You can usually search those neighborhood names, and there's Facebook groups dedicated to that. Actually, I'll show you an even better example of one. So this is a neighborhood group that I'm in here. And so the point of that, so not to jump too far ahead here, the point of this is we're looking for Facebook groups that are in our service area, and they're smaller communities within the service area, right? So while this group is in Springfield, Ohio, when I type in Springfield, Ohio, this may or may not pop up, but if I typed in Springfield, Ohio with the little neighborhood community name in it, this group did pop up. And so while this is a small group of like 2,000 people, there's quite a bit of posts in here. So, usually a lot of these groups may or may not be private, because a lot of them, they're going to ask you, like, where do you live? Why do you want to join, kind of thing. Just do whatever it takes to get inside the group. The second tip to this is it's important what you do once you are inside of the group, okay? So before I jump into the second tip heavily, I kind of want to explain how Facebook posting works. And you may or may not already know this, but when you post something on Facebook, whether it's on your Facebook page, your business page, a group, it doesn't really matter. How that post gets seen by people is it's based on engagement, right? So if you've ever posted something on your business page or in a Facebook group, and all of a sudden, maybe in the first hour or so, you didn't get any kind of engagement, and then the post just dies. Usually that happens because you're not providing any value or asking a question that a lot of people know the answer to. That generally is what happens. And so I say that to say your goal here is to post engaging content if you're going to directly promote your business. And then the third tip is going to be how we can promote it without directly posting. So an example of this would be, I would not join this Facebook group and instantly put up a couple of cool pictures of what I do, my phone number, reach out to me for free estimates. You know, people in this area were given 25% off. And I'll tell you why, because what you're going to see is that when you make those posts is that they're going to get little to no engagement. Right? Because the amount of people that are directly looking for that service right then and there are very, very few, far and in between, and it can come off as kind of spammy. When we talk about these community groups, the reason you want to be here is because you want to be recommended by other homeowners, right? So in this particular group, there's 1,800 people who live in this community, right? And so when somebody asks for a particular recommendation of a service provider, they're probably going to go with the recommendation that a lot of people start to make. And you want to be inside those conversations, which will get to tip number 3. So just to kind of reiterate on tip number 2, the reason you don't want to post, you know, an ad here with your phone number and all that stuff is because it's going to die. Nobody's going to interact with it. You know, it's just within an hour to 2 hours, that post is going to be buried because nobody's commenting, liking, engaging with that particular post. And the reason that I bring this up is that, you know, you might have gotten step 1, right? You finally found the Facebook groups that you want to be in. Cool. Then you get to the Facebook groups and you start promoting your business and you're like, man, everybody says I need to be using Facebook groups, but it's just not working. And that's probably why. Which leads me to tip number 3, and this is the final tip as to how to actually use Facebook groups to grow your business, and it's you need to provide value and only comment when it's really applicable for your business. So the key to all of this is in the magnifying glass here. So this is the search function, okay? This is where we can search for particular keywords, i.e. the business that we provide, and find posts where homeowners are asking about the service that we provide. So I'm going to do lawn care in this particular group. Let's see if there's any posts, all right? So we'll do most recent. We want to narrow it by most recent. And in this particular case, it looks like there's somebody here that was actually, look, I'll give you a prime example of this, right? So this had extremely low engagement, 5 likes and 2 comments. And this was just somebody just kind of referring this individual, right? But what's happening here is that this person is promoting their lawn care business. The ad's not, you know, well written. It's a picture of a blurry business card, those sorts of things, right? What we're looking for is people who are looking for like this. This is a primary example. This post right here is a primary example of what we're looking for. So this person said, "Hi neighbors, our regular lawn service is unable to get to our yard and we would really like to have it mowed, trimmed." Exactly. So right here, this person is looking for the service that you're providing because you just made that search, right? And so we go in here and this is where we would provide some value, right? Now, you see that there are some people that says, "How can I help?" Messaged you. Are you mowing this weekend? Like there's some other comments. What my recommendation would be is to provide some value about what you do, to set yourself aside. Because when they make those posts and they say, "I'm looking for a pressure washer, lawn care, painter," you want to set yourself apart from all the other people who are going to comment on this. So I would write something along the lines of like, "Hey, so-and-so, hey, Susie, my name is so, and I own this business. I've been in business for this many years. I specialize in doing this particular service, and I've helped tons of homeowners in, you know, whatever the Facebook group in this neighborhood. I would be honored if I could give you an estimate on that. Would it be okay to send you a message?" Right? Boom. That's it. Maybe provide a couple of pictures in there as well. That is the key to making it work on Facebook groups, is you don't get on there to necessarily sell and just spam your business. You have to be in the right Facebook. Let me do that in a backwards order. And that's the key to winning on Facebook groups. And that's the key to winning on Facebook groups is, number one, you have to be in the right groups, period. It starts there. You want to post in the right groups. The second thing is, once you're in the right groups, don't be spammy with your business. You don't want to just continuously spam people with the business and all your promotions and all that kind of stuff. And the third thing is, what you want to do is you want to find people who are looking for your service and then obviously then provide some form of value. The other tip, and we'll call this a bonus tip, right? So maybe tip number 4. So a bonus tip to this, tip number 4, if you will, is going to be if there aren't, like in this case here, when I typed in lawn care, the last post from a homeowner was a couple of months ago, right? So there wasn't a whole lot of engagement. You know, you're like, man, like I'm not going to comment on this post from a couple of months ago. What you can do is you can still provide value and post on the group publicly by, you know, maybe talking about some advice of a service you provide. So an example of this would be, let's say you're in pressure washing. You take a picture of a house that maybe has algae growing on the side of the house, or a really dirty driveway, and you talk about, you know, what that is, what causes it, and something the homeowner can do to get rid of it, right? You're not being salesy. You're not being very spammy. You're just kind of providing value. You're giving insight. Because here's the thing, right? If we use pressure washing as an example, and you take a picture of a house that's covered in, you know, black and green, and you say, you know, hey, homeowners, have you ever seen this on the side of your house? You know, I want to make you aware what causes this is this. How we remove this in the industry is by applying, you know, sodium hypochlorite to the side of the house via soft wash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Don't be scared to provide value and teach people about how to do what you do, because most people aren't going to do it. Like, nobody's going to go out and buy a soft wash system. If you're giving some insight on, you know, maybe the best ways to paint a room, nobody's going to go buy 5 gallons a bucket and take your tip and be like, thanks so much for giving me that. You're just providing value. You're bringing awareness around the subject. And in a nutshell, guys, that's pretty much it. You know, just to recap the 4 tips on how to really win at Facebook groups, it's be in the right Facebook groups to begin with. Don't be super salesy and spammy by just posting your promotions and deals all over the page. Tip number 3 was to find homeowners that are asking for recommendations of a service that you provide, and then jump in there and stand apart from your competition, and then, you know, obviously provide your phone number or whatever means of contact. And the bonus tip here, tip number 4, if you will, was if you find that in a lot of these groups you're not seeing a lot of homeowners asking for recommendations of the service that you provide value in the group publicly by taking a picture or a video of you performing a service and explaining to the homeowner, has anybody seen this? Has anybody tried to paint a room? Has anybody tried to pressure wash a driveway? You know, this is the way to do it for the best results, right? Just provide value. Nobody's gonna take your advice and just run with it. But what it will do is it'll cause people to engage, right? So if you take a picture of, you know, maybe some grass that's overgrown with weeds, and you make a small video talking about the best way to remove weeds from grass, and you ask people, have they ever, you know, had to remove weeds, you're going to get a lot more engagement there, and i.e. people will start reaching out to you. So I hope this type of content helps. If you've had good experience or even bad experience using Facebook groups, be sure to let me know down in the comments. And if there's a particular subject matter that you'd like me to talk about, I would love to make a video about it. So let me know. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.